Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Operation Paragon Podcast. This is something that I have been considering doing for a very long time. Simply put, the point of this podcast, the broader brand and the mission behind it, is to equip those of us in the younger generation to be able to step up, take charge in our lives, and ultimately just sort out the mess that is the modern world, right? So to give you guys a little bit of background on kind of the idea behind this, I've wanted to do something in this space for years at this point. One of those things where you just toss the idea around and never really get down to do it. And I've decided that, enough is enough. I'm going to make this happen or it's never going to end up happening. And so here we are. And the reason I'm starting this specifically is because I've noticed that there are a lot of self-development podcasts and things like that are, dedicated to men, but it's more for, older men. So guys that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe even 60s, that they already have the family and they've got the mortgage and they've got an established career path. And I want this to focus more on those of us who are, young men, possibly completely lost in the world as it is, and not looking at, what you can do when you're partially along the path, but more focused on how we can actually find our paths to begin with, how we can set ourselves up for success, how we can, observe the world today for what it is, and consciously put aside those things that don't serve us, and then accepting those things that do, right? So instead of trying to, as the saying goes, it's easier to build strong boys than it is to fix broken men, right? So instead of getting a couple decades of mistakes under our belts before we really decide to get our lives in order, I figure it's, a good a time as any to really step up, take initiative, take responsibility for our lives so that we are in a position to accept responsibility for the world that we're inheriting and to really, just turn it around for the better. So that's the general vision behind this. My name is Gabriel Schickler. I am a 22-year-old, and I'll get more into, my background later on here. But the reason that I'm not just calling this the Gabriel Schickler Show is because I want this to be bigger than me. All right, I think the idea of the lone wolf is kind of stupid, honestly, because nobody does anything monumental alone. Every army needs its leader. The world is going to have its Alexander the Greats, but people like that need people behind them. And I don't know, where I fall in that distribution. I don't think I'm at the top of the pecking order necessarily. I wouldn't really consider myself at the bottom of it either, but I digress. The point is, everybody has a part to play in the story that will be written over the coming decades, and we need every ounce collectively of strength and grit and determination and character that we can possibly muster, right? And so I don't want to just, build a good version of myself and then gallivant off into the mountains and watch the world burn. I intend to do something about that, and I understand full well that I will not be able to do that alone, that there is immense strength in numbers, and that in any setting, whether it's, a military, a business, anything like that, there's an exponential effect when you bring in other people, right? And so I want this mission and this project to be bigger than me, right? I want all of you guys to be able to own it, to make it your own, and to really internalize that mission of building the best version of yourself. Not the best version that someone tells you should be, not the best version that, you've been kind of gaslit into believing, but genuinely, stepping into your strengths, accepting the joys and the burdens of your life, and truly being authentically you. And I know that sounds cliche, but the world needs people that are really alive right now. Everyone is going through the motions, critically depressed, not really knowing if there's a purpose or a meaning behind it. And it's because we've betrayed so much of what makes us human and what makes us us. And so I want to lean into that. I hope you do as well if you're listening to this. And so that's really the mission behind this, right? I want this to be bigger than me. I want every single one of you to make this your own and to really internalize the mission, like I said, and then to, make something of yourselves, right? Let's prop each other up. Let's keep each other accountable. Let's actually do something meaningful with our lives, right? And the state of the world, sure, seems to be going to hell in a handbasket. But the way I see it is every hero needs a villain, right? You don't have Batman without the Joker. You don't have Frodo without the ring. You don't have Gandalf without the Balrog. You don't have, Luke Skywalker without Darth Vader. And I can give more and more examples. The quality of hero that you are and that you become is directly related to the challenge that you face, because nobody knows what could be or what might be. We just know what is. And if you can point to your track record and say, like, yeah, I killed that dragon, people are going to be like, dang, he's a dragon slayer, as opposed to looking around the village and being like, well, any one of us could be a dragon slayer, right? So having those tangible results, I think, are enormously important. And the gift of being able to prove ourselves in an age such as this, I think, really is just that. It is a gift. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It's going to require a ton of effort. But together, I truly believe that we can do it. So that is the purpose behind this project. I genuinely believe we can make it. I believe that every single one of us is on this planet for a reason. And that is to get the world in order and start to turn things around and just take back the goodness that is present in the world, right? So that's just a general overview of what I want to see happen with this project. And it will get as, small or as big as it needs to. I'm leaving that part more up to God. But I'm going to be, putting as much as I can into this project. I'm going to be holding myself accountable to becoming the best version of myself and realizing that as best I can. And I hope that you guys will do the same. To give you a little bit more background on me, I am a proud Catholic, a proud American, and I am just getting started. I could bore you with a huge long introduction, but I trust that, relevant stories and information will come to light as time goes on, and I don't think you guys are here for an entire autobiography. So, just to suffice it to say, like I said, I'm a Catholic, I'm an American, I believe in God, I take my faith very seriously, I think character and morality is very important. I was raised as the oldest of 7 children in a middle-class family, so I haven't faced any hugely traumatizing events like starvation or getting shot at or anything like that. Thank God. And I feel like I and everyone else in this country is in a position where we pretty much have an obligation to start stepping up. So, that is pretty much everything that's relevant at the moment. And like I said, I'm sure more things will present themselves later on. As far as the contents of this podcast, I hope to document my journey to maybe help you guys avoid some of the mistakes that I will inevitably make, and to also, hopefully, show what's possible. I intend to talk a lot about strategies, tactics, mindsets, things like that. Bit of philosophy, different ideologies with how you should live your life, which ones can hold water, which ones can't. So we'll be taking a look at that. I'm also going to be bringing on some guests in various areas, everything from, business to personal development to spiritual matters. So quite a wide breadth there, but I don't think that we really have the option to focus on just a single area right now because people don't seem to be doing well in most of them on average. And so that is going to be the general focus of this podcast and this movement. I am very excited for the journey ahead. I have no idea where this is going. I am completely new to podcasting and everything related to this, and I am perfectly aware that people probably aren't going to see my first 100 or maybe 1,000 episodes, but that is perfectly fine. I understand that that's totally part of the process, and if you're getting in on the ground floor right now, welcome. I am thrilled to have you along for the ride, and let's see where this thing goes. So buckle up, everyone. God bless. Remember that greatness is within your reach, and I will see you all very soon with a full-length episode.